morning and welcome to the news of the day, in which we are going to speak about the best transport systems. Also, we will talk about one of the best museums in Bilbao and much more news. It's 4th of February 2020 and this is the summary of the day. To start with, first we have the Azkuna Centroa with this new exhibition Open Codes, a reflection about the world we live today, based on data, how we live in a digitalist world and how more or less we are controlled by data. We also have news about the best transport system available in Bilbao, which this year has broken a record with a maximum of 91 million trips in 2019, a bit more than the previous year. The Iberdrola Museum in Bilbao has presented the new conservation and restoration program, in which they have made a specific plan for each piece of art, and the idea is to preserve those in the best possible way. This is one of the movements we support, the preservation of our culture. Nice job, Iberdrola. Speaking of sports, Joric is going to explain later more about the sport news, in which we are going to see a summary of the athletic match in which our team has lost against Getafe, where the Athletic gave it all, but it finally lost. Joric is also going to tell us which is the municipal football field where there are going to be a lot of renovations and improvements. So the question is, how much is it going to cost? How much is this big project going to cost to Bilbao City Council? In the weather, Eneco will talk later about the good and sunny days that are going to come to the north of Spain. And as always, to finish with, we will speak about some pictures sent by our viewers. This is the summary. Let's go to the main news. The first news is about Azkuna Centroa, in which Pablo is going to explain us about the Open Code exhibition. It's enough talking. Let's go with Pablo.
Open Codes, we are data, from October 23, 2019 to January 26, 2020. Azkuna Centroa Alhóndiga Bilbao presents from October 23 to January 26 the exhibition Open Codes, we are data, a reflection on the world we live in today, a world that is created and ruled by codes. Digital codes determine how we perceive our surroundings, they influence our finance system, our legislation and our business models. In a sense, they shape and create new horizons for social, economic or cultural activity. Open Codes, we are data is conceived as an experimental space for creative encounters where knowledge production on understanding computers, codes and artistic approach take place at a single venue. It is an attempt to engage with today's realities and point out perspectives and lines of development for the future in order to better understand the world we live in, a world that has become a field of data. This exhibition, accompanied by a broad public program that includes presentations, workshops and film screenings, proposes a new concept of exhibition that breaks with rights structures, developing a free access knowledge platform and inviting you to experience the exhibition hall as a space open to thinking aimed at exchanging and acquiring knowledge and a new collaborative format. To this end, open space is made available to the public, designated for public events such as workshops, conference, roundtable or meeting related to the open source them.
Oh, thank you, Pablo. A really nice way to see the world we live in, with tons of data, as this news, with a lot of information and data. Let's go with the next piece of news. It comes from the hand of Iker Perez, and it's going to explain how the metro has exceeded a new barrier of trips in 2019 and how day by day it is becoming a better subway for these transport users. So let's go with Iker.
Yeah, Metro Bilbao has exceeded 90 million trips in 2019, the new historical record. About to celebrate its 25th anniversary, Metro Bilbao has exceeded the barrier of 90 million trips in his two lines in 2019, with present a new historical record and an increase of 1.84% compared to the previous year. This was highlighted this Friday by Eneko Arruebarrena, Managing Director of Metro Bilbao, at the press conference in which he presented to the media the balance of travel and survey of quality of service and suburban of Metro during the last year. Despite the lack of mass events in 2019, 91 million travels were registered thanks to the regular use of the service, which present 1 million more than in 2018. In 2019, the best Christmas Eve brand with 2,000 travels, almost 2,000 trips more than in 2018. On Friday, November 29, celebration of the Black Friday consumer events, Metro Bilbao has reached the new record with 346,000 validations in one day. Speaking of the subway lines, the second, which connect with the left bank of estuary of Bilbao, was the most used with 40% of validation, followed by the common section that runs through the center of Bilbao with 30% of validation in the first line, which runs along the right margin used by the 25%.
Thank you, Iker. It's very interesting to see how it's becoming a better transport because of its use every day. And it has been used more, and it doesn't look like it's to stop growing up from now on. Last but not the least of the news, before going with the sport news, this is going to be brought by Saul, speaking about the restoration and conservation program that Iberdrola Museum has started to preserve the art that is inside the building. So let's go with Saul. It's your turn.
Yeah, we are going to present the preservation of the conservation and restoration program of the Bellas Artes Museum for the 2020. Iberdrola, a museum patron since 2001, promotes one of the museum's founding missions, namely to conserve its collection of artworks. With this goal in mind, works from collections that need treatment have been chosen every year since 2013 through the Iberdrola Museum Conservation and Restoration Program. Additionally, in 2019, a new avenue of action was added to works that participate in the museum's temporary exhibitions. Thus, one of drawing and 22 oil paintings from Ignacio Zuloaga, 1870 to 1945, were traded, including one of the collection's masterpieces, Portrait of Countess Matthew de Noailles, 1913. 34 works on paper and 95 oil paintings were traded from Isabel Baquedano on Beauty and the Skirt, including Untitled 1972, which the museum recently acquired. Finally, a study was conducted of drawing underlying triptychs of the Annunciation by Jos Van Cleef, which the Cathedral of Santo Domingo de la Calzada, La Rioja, lent to the museum to be part of the guest work program. The works in the collection which are being presented for the first time include one of Marametto Sagi acquired in 2018, which allows this unique Bilbao artist to join the museum's collection with one of the most important works. The number of Regoyos works is also increasing with the landscape donated in 2019. Finally, 24 drawings by La Plaza are being displayed, concluding the recovery of the set of 112 drawings which began in the 2014 Iberdrola Museum program.
It's a really nice action from the Iberdrola Museum, I have to admit. A place in which I have been, and I have to confess that it's a magnificent place to visit and stay because of the museum itself and the nice park that it has next to it. So now it's the time to go with the sport news with Joric, but before we go, we are going to see these two fast advertisements.
Profesionalidad. Constancia. Rigurosidad. Veracidad. Es lo que nos permite hacer una televisión de calidad para ti. Tartanga Televisión, muy cerca.
Los viejos y tráelos a Pinturas Iriondo. Convierte lo viejo en nuevo con una buena mano de pintura.
Hello there, welcome to the sports section. I'm Joric Rosa and this has just started. So first we have to talk about the Athletic versus Getafe soccer match in which the Athletic lost a match at home in San Mamés, also called the Cathedral by Athletic fans. An incredible teamwork from the hand of Getafe team with the first goal in the minute 36 thanks to Damian Suarez with an incredible cutout that provided the team with the blue t-shirt his first point. The Athletic also had very good opportunities like this one, but not as good to score a point. At this point comes to the second score for Getafe by a penalty that was checked by the VAR at hand of Jaime Mata in the minute 50. A game very fought by both teams in which they all had a lot of opportunities to score. This was a very intense match in which our team loses, but we have to move on and continue with the news, and it comes time to speak about Mayona, the municipal soccer field that is going to be changed as well as it's going to be sanitized. So Ander will explain these movements of the City Council of Bilbao. Let's see it.
Yes, the City Council of Bilbao begins work to renew the artificial grass of one of the municipal football fields in Mayona. The action is being carried out in Soccer File B with more than 6,000 square meters houses a Saucer 11 file in the longitudinal direction and two other Saucer 7 files placed transversally. The action is completed with the replacement of sports equipment, goals and pennants, with the improvement of evacuation and water collection, as well as with the cleaning of the sanitation network. This work will last about 2 months and Bilbao Council will invest 141,000 euros in this improvement, which houses more than 60 teams and more than 1,000 players from 4 Bilbao soccer clubs, such as Santucho Football Club, Sociedad Deportiva Begoña, Club Deportivo Solocoeche, and Danok Black Club de Fica. This last team, the Danok Bat, won 2-0 to Pamplona in Mayona, with goals from Añibarro and Arana, both achieved in the first half. It is the first triumph of 2020 for those of Jonathan Ledesma, who next week will play in Iruña against Chantrea. By the 20th minute, the Danok Bat managed to get the first goal on track. A long throw-in by Analchan Añibarro picks up the ball after the ball that does not clear the defense, stands alone in front of the Nafarroa goalkeeper and hits him low. Just before the break came the second, so much that in the end it will be definitive. Corner that bounced John Lo and Arana heads off the net. The second part was the Danok domain, although there were occasions in the two areas that did not bear fruit. An Irusta shot against which the visiting goalkeeper avoided the third. John Lo tried to get a dangerous ball up, but the ball was missed by the opposite post. Net triumph against a rival who did not bother too much early because the local channeled the victory with the 2 goals in the first act.
Alright, Ander, thank you so much. And Athletic didn't win, but at least the Danok Bat did. So they are going to have a new soccer field as well as other teams, because we have to remember that this field is one of the municipal fields which houses 4 teams. So anyway, this has been all from the sports section, and it's time to go with Eneko and his weather prediction for the week. So thank you for staying there, and we will be back after the advertisements. See you.
¿Imaginas estar en plena naturaleza? Sintiéndote como en casa.
In Anchor, we think that you should stop worrying. To manage that, we have changed everything. Zero taxes, zero interest, and zero privacy violation. For you to be able to keep up with life. So you can start living.
Artesanas como nunca antes, con el mejor trigo y como nunca antes visto. Nuestra baguette, nuestra chapata, nuestro pan integral y pan de masa madre, de trigo y sin gluten. Sí, sin gluten. Ya sabéis, donde siempre hay para vosotros. Panadería Celia Maitía, el pan sin gluten de cada día.
Hello and welcome to the last section of the news, the weather section. So let's start with the meteo set, in which we can see that there are going to be a ton of clouds, but these ones are going to continue their way to France. And the other ones are going to the south of Spain. This is going to make the north of the country to be taken off the clouds. On the other hand, the temperatures will remain throughout the country above 20 degrees Celsius. And the south, in general, is going to have a lot of rain, so let's wait for the good temperatures in the country, but with a lot of rain in the south. And speaking of non-rain, there are the Canary Islands with higher temperatures than the rest of the country, as well as the Balearic Islands, that will have some rain, but overall they will be really hot. In some points we will have some heat in the Canary Islands. And this has been the weather, and now let's see some pictures that our viewers have sent us. And there are some very good pictures today, so let's see the first one. This one here we can see Castellugache, a picture by Igone Ramiro. Thank you, Igone, for sending us this picture. It seems like a very sunny and beautiful day. So let's see the next one. This one is from Underhill. It seems to be Arminza, and it's like another very sunny and beautiful day. The next picture is from Saray Alvarez, here standing in the beach of Baquio. Wonderful day. And the last picture is from almost the last picture is from Claude Fernandez. It's in Sopelana. And I think that's been all for today. So thanks a lot for staying by, and now I send you the connection back, Pelut.
So this has been all for today. We hope you enjoyed and learned something new. We will be back tomorrow with more. Have a nice day.